some of the principles that I used to start Digital you could use for anything, whether you're doing a connecting organization or not. One is go with your passion. Like it's always been my passion to bring people together. So whatever your business is, whether it's a connecting social thing or not, just go with your passion, because your conversations with people will be more, I guess, passionate, or people will be able to see your passion as you're talking to them and your energy, and they will like that and get excited with you for some things. So one, and they say it a lot, but go with your passion. Don't just like do a business because you think there's going to be money in it, and or someone told you about this great lead or whatever. Like if all those things happen, that's great too, but you should also be passionate about it. So that's definitely one. Two, what I did is I used for this company, I used a combination of technology and in-person and online to help grow it. So the takeaway from that is no matter what your business is, whether it's events or not events, whatever it is, let's say you have products. If you're selling products, make sure that you have an online component that complements that and has the same brand and voice as your physical product. Make sure your social media voice matches what you're doing on your website, and how you just communicate things in your newsletter. Just make sure your voice and your branding and how you come across and are perceived is consistent over all of your channels, whether that's online, offline, or newsletter, a product. Even the packaging for your product helps convey your brand. As you know, Apple is very famous for having, even the bag that you purchase the product, your box Apple good, and even the bag, you can tell that's an Apple bag. So your product has got to be, your brand has got to be communicated well across all of your channels. And consumer touch points. So that's two. Three is to be consistent. There are other organizations in the LA area that have done networking events, which is great. But then the founder will get another job or get really busy, and then they kind of peter out, and the community is kind of lost. So similarly, for other products, sometimes people get focused on the wrong product, or they haven't done a right match. They kind of like lose their way as far as what is their product fit with their consumer, and then when the consumers' habits change, are they also changing with them, or they still turn out the same product? So the third takeaway there, number three, is making sure you're consistent and kind of following the trends. So or following what's happening with your audience. You don't want to be stuck in a situation where your audience is doing something else, and you're left behind doing the other thing that you were always doing, which is not what they're doing anymore.
Thank you for listening to this episode of the LA Business Podcast. If you like what we're doing on this podcast, please consider subscribing on Apple or Google Play, leaving a 5-star review, and sharing with your friends. If you have any questions, comments, or recommendations for a guest you'd like to hear on this podcast, please email me, robert@brillmedia.co. Thank you. Have a fantastic day.